members de la familia. Mi nombre es Amarodago, son bienvenidos de nuevo a mi canal. And to my English subscribers, hello family members, my name is Amarodago and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm originally from Nigeria and I bring to you content based on how you can obtain your visas, immigration news, and how you can live your best life right here in España. If you think you can relate to that kind of content, then please do well to consider subscribing by pressing the red subscribe button down below, turn on your bell notifications so whenever I post you'll be the first to get notified, liking this video if you like this kind of content, sharing this content to other people who you think may need problem solving videos like that. In that way you will get to send my videos across to other people who will need this video at a critical point in their life. So please do well to share and share, because sharing is caring. Also, leave a comment down in the comment section of subsequent videos on topics you'd like to see here on this channel. Disclaimer: I am not an immigration lawyer, neither am I a recruiter. This video is brought to you based on my own personal research, so please do well to do your research to find out what you need to know before you take your next step. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. So guys, you're welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about sponsors. Guys, if you have watched any of my video where I talked about visa, I've spoken about sponsors time and time again. For lack of no better word, let's just dive into who a sponsor is. A sponsor is somebody who can financially cater for your trip abroad. Yes, the person will have to everything monetarily. The person will have to cater for it. So plus your whatever your accommodation, your visa fees, and the amount you're supposed to have in your bank account in order to visit that other country, the person is the one that's going to be funding everything until you get back to your home country. So this is who a sponsor is. I have decided to break it down in plain terms so that you understand what I'm saying. So yes, this is who a sponsor is. So in today's video, I want to tell you about situations that you should not bother using a sponsor. Because some people just feel, oh, sponsor. They will say, yes, I want to use a sponsor, It's good to use a sponsor, but you need to know if you should be using a sponsor. Not everybody should use a sponsor, and sometimes sponsors can actually mar your process altogether. So how do you know whether you are eligible to use a sponsor and whether you are not eligible to use a sponsor? That's why you're watching this video, so stay tuned. Also, we'll go ahead to explain to you the requirements your sponsor must have in order for him or her to qualify as a sponsor. And we're going to be defining in today's video who a sponsor is supposed to be, how related this sponsor is supposed to be to the person who is actually going for this visa application. So we need to talk about this because I have a lot of questions and I know I need to bring out a resource that can answer these questions once and for all. So guys, we are going to be talking about all this. Do not miss a beat. This video is highly informative. Let's go straight into it. But guys, so visa sponsorship is somebody who is going to cater for all your expenses during your trip abroad. Whether you're coming for study, whether you're coming for tourism, you can use a sponsor. You can, but not in all cases. So if you are probably coming as a tourist and you're unable to afford the trip abroad and you have somebody who wants to sponsor that trip, it is okay to use that person since you don't have the financial means to come by yourself. If you have the financial means, by all means, you can go ahead and use what you have to make that trip possible. There are some students who they just finished their higher education, they don't have a job yet, and they want to come and go ahead and continue to study for masters, and they want to do this outside of their home country. The only condition in this case is not to go and put 20 million, 10 million, 5 million into your account, and guys, that will be crippling your visa application. It will be crippling it in the sense that how did you get the money? You didn't show us that you're affiliated to any company or you own a business, but you have so much money in your account. how did it come about? So you need to be able to let the Spanish embassy or Schengen embassy that you go to know how your money came to be. They are not just going to see the said amount that you have and just be like, oh, they're going to give you the visa. You can have enough money in your account and yet not get a visa. So in this case, instead of sponsoring yourself, if you don't have a job or a business, sponsoring yourself is a no-no. You need to get a sponsor. So now, meanwhile, on the other hand, if you're somebody who works, you've been working for the past 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, as the case may be, and you want to come for your leave as a tourist and somebody wants to sponsor that trip, you can use a sponsor. This sponsor has to have two very important things to support the sponsorship. Number one, he has to have a valid account, at least for you to be able to print out 6 months proof of funds, and he has to allow you to access this account. That means he has to print out the 6 months proof of funds and hand them over to you for you to use for your visa processing. And also he will need to write a letter that shows that he is the one sponsoring you. There is a template for this letter. If you need this letter, contact me. My details are up here. That template will state who the person is and how related he is to you, and it will go ahead to state, you know, his address, the sponsor's address, the sponsor's name, his email address, his details, personal details that the embassy would like to know. Because if you say you're sponsoring somebody, we want to know where we can get you, just in case the person is missing. So you're going to put in all that details there. When you see the sponsorship letter, you know what I'm talking about, and he will sign it. It will be good if he can come in a letter-headed paper. If the person is just he doesn't own a business, then he can come just like that, an ordinary letter, and it should be signed by him. He will have to also attach some supporting documents, like maybe his international passport data page, and he will also put some things like maybe if he owns a business or owns a house, something like that, document showing that he owns an apartment or a house, which shows that he is able to sponsor the person who is coming as a student for as long as that study will last. If he doesn't have any of these things and he just has only proof of funds, it can also fly. This question, I'm going to answer it once and for all, because I know a lot of people don't know. So who can be your sponsor? Guys, not everybody can sponsor a person. Usually, a sponsor is supposed to be someone who is directly related to you. Directly related to you. So who is directly related to Amara? That should be my father, my mother, my brother, my sister. Those are directs. So that is who your sponsor should be. So if you go and bring one uncle that is not related to you, he can't sponsor you. If you go and bring one auntie that is not related to you, that person cannot sponsor your trip, especially when you're coming as a student. When you're coming as a student, Spanish embassy states that it has to be somebody from your nuclear family that has the ability to sponsor you. So, and this would have to be proved by putting in their birth certificates to prove the relationship. So yes, not everybody can sponsor you. In the case where you do not have parents, but you have a legal guardian, they are also in a position to sponsor you. Of course, you have to bring proof that this is your situation so that will fly. Do you get me? Also, in a situation whereby maybe your mother is a single parent and you do not have a father, your mother's brother can sponsor you. That's another person who is directly related through your mother. But you have to state this in a letter explaining yourself, because you will see that the surnames will not be the same. And this is the case whereby you can use somebody who is not related on a normal basis. It has to be your father, mother, brother, sister, or your legal guardian who can sponsor you for study. When we want to talk about tourists, most times we have people who come as a tourist to Schengen countries and they have sponsors. In that case, you can have somebody who will sponsor you, who will be like your partner. Even if the person is not married to you, the person can sponsor you. So the person will also have to write a letter showing that he will take care of all the expenses of that trip and also bring some other things. If the person is a partner who lives in the country you're going to, the person will have to bring an invitation letter. Yeah, when he gets you the invitation letter, you use it to apply for the visa. He can do it in two ways. Either he brings invitation letter to you, you have to get it through the foreign police, or he just writes a sponsorship letter, and in that sponsorship letter, he's going to be stating who he is, the country of residence, his address, whether he's a citizen or not. All those personal details need to be written down there. Then he will be attaching his nomina, which is like his pay slip, his work contract. He will be attaching his passport data page and his resident permit. Anybody who does not have documents in the country that you're going to cannot sponsor. If the person is illegal, the person definitely will not be able to sponsor you. So yes, there are situations whereby your partner or married partner, in quotes, can sponsor, but it has to be done either through invitation letter or this other route. In this case, where there's an advantage and there's also a disadvantage. The advantage side is that you can get a longer period to stay in that Schengen area. So instead of them giving you like 2 weeks, 1 week, 10 days, they can give you like maybe 2 months, 3 months. Yeah, but there is another disadvantage. The advantage is that they would have to do their investigation, because you've submitted his details, everything. They will go and check, this person, is he working? This person, can he take care of you for the set period of time? This person, is with the money entering his account, is it enough to cater for somebody? Does he even have a house he's living in that somebody can come and stay in, and all those good stuff? Of course, if he doesn't have a house and you want to stay in a hotel, that's okay. But when it comes to financing, is he able to finance? So these are some of the questions. Here they do investigation. They don't just assume that is going to be the situation. And in case you do not, maybe it's time to come back to your home country, your visa has expired and you're not back, they would go to that person whose details already in the embassy, and is the person that are going to be, they're going to find out what happened to you, why you're not back, and all those good stuff. So this is like, the person who has to do this will have to trust you very well for him to be able to like give you this kind of sponsorship. So yes, if you have somebody sponsoring you from back home, the same place where you are, then the person will have to bring what I said earlier, the sponsorship letter and 6 months proof of funds. In no occasion should you be looking for a sponsor who is, you don't know the person. It's going to be difficult for somebody to sponsor you without knowing you. I've received messages from people who I don't even know. They just contact me on the gram and say, please ma, can you sponsor me? Sponsoring somebody can backfire on the sponsor. Yes, so if I sponsor you and you come here and you don't go back, I don't know you from anywhere. It's good to be very careful on who you sponsor. When you are sponsoring, know who you're sponsoring, know if it's somebody who you can trust, and if it's something you can do to the end. On no occasion should you think that if you don't have a sponsor, you will not get visa. That's not true. So if you don't have a sponsor, you can get any Schengen visa of your choice. You can get study visa, you can get tourist visa, you can get business visa, whatever visa you want, you can get it. The only thing is that you need a good, robust account for this to happen. And if you're coming with dependents, the money will be more. The more the people, the more the money. So what you need to do is to now find out how much do I need to have in my account for this to happen, and you need to check out my video up on here for that purpose. Also, if you don't have a sponsor and you have enough money to go on a tourist visa, by all means, you don't need to stress yourself. You don't need to stress somebody else to say bring documents, bring this, bring a invitation letter. Use what you have. If you're a business person, use your own business account. Also use your business name, the name of your business, your CAC documents. Or you're working, you show that you're working, proof that you're working by bringing your pay slip, bringing your leave letter, bringing your employment letter or contract, as the case may be. If you have contract, not everywhere has contract. So yes, this is how you can do it. So, and for studies, once you are working and you're able to afford the trip, by all means you can sponsor yourself to study. You can sponsor yourself for a business trip. I hope you get me. Capish? Capish? Alright guys, I hope this video was very informative, and I've taught one or two persons situations where you should not be using a sponsor and how a sponsor can mar your process altogether. So if your sponsor is not related to you, that can mar your process altogether. Don't bring a sponsor who is not related to you. I've told you situations whereby you can do that, but most in general terms you're not allowed to do it, especially for Spain. Yes. All right, so thank you very much for joining me on today's video. Remember, I work with authorized translators and I can bring that service to you if need be. Do well to contact me using the details up in this video, and see you on my next video. Watch these two videos after now. Don't be a stranger. Hasta luego.